In today's video, we'll be going over all of the new PS4 game releases this week. We've only got 3 games to go over, but each of the games are pretty notable, so I'm excited to take a look at all of that. Also, we don't have an exact idea of when The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be released. The big speculation has been the fact that it will be released sometime in 2019. However, an ex-IGN editor looks to have let the cat out of the bag that The Last of Us Part 2 indeed looks to be released in 2019. Also, Rockstar Games has just put out Red Dead Redemption 2, but it looks like they're already moving on to their next project as they're hiring for next generation projects, including improving facial animation tools. Also, David Cage, the mind behind Quantic Dream's Detroit Become Human, has put out a tweet teasing something new for the game and something new for the studio in 2019. And lastly, I want to round out this video by taking a look at some great PS4 game deals that are available right now, namely on Valkyria Chronicles 4, and then Target has also got a couple of great deals on a variety of different PS4 titles, namely a fantastic deal on Shadow of the Colossus. I'll cover that at the end of this video. First up, let's go over all of the new PS4 game releases this week. Definitely highlighting the week for me is Tales of Vesperia, the definitive edition. If you guys have been following this channel, you know how excited I personally am for this game. It was originally released over 10 years ago exclusively on the Xbox 360. It never came to any other platforms over here in the States, but over in Japan, they did get a PS3 version of the game that improved upon the game greatly, added more characters, more content, more voice acting, but unfortunately, we never got that version of the game stateside until now. We're getting that with Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, but of course, being on the PS4, it's also going to see a litany of other improvements, including visual and technical improvements, so that's going to be very nice. The game itself is great, and it's a content-filled JRPG. You're getting around 50 to 60 hours of content here. I do have to say that the pricing is kind of high at $49.99, and that's really a theme out of the games we're covering here when I talk about the pricing. Tales of Vesperia a little bit higher on the price side, $49.99 for a game that is, again, north of 10 years old, but still such a great JRPG that I think it will be well worth it. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition drops on January 11th. Moving on from that, and speaking of that pricing theme, Hitman HD Enhanced Collection will be dropping on January 11th. Now, this includes improved versions of Hitman Blood Money as well as Hitman Absolution. 2 very good games, and now they'll be running at 4K and 60 frames per second. Now, these games are very good, however, you have to note the fact that Hitman Blood Money and Hitman Absolution are both very old games, and unlike Tales of Vesperia, it's not like these games are getting a lot of new content. At least with Tales of Vesperia, we're getting content that we never saw over here in the States. These games are just improved from a technical sense, and I was hoping that a collection like this would be released on the PlayStation 4 maybe at $29.99, at most $39.99, but no, it'll be coming at you at a full $59.99. That's a little crazy to me, but it's honestly not that surprising either because it is being published by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers just put out the Batman Return to Arkham collection, and that was excessively overpriced at $59.99. But with that collection, at least you had 3 games versus this collection's 2, and Batman Arkham Knight is just generally a newer game. Now, Hitman HD Enhanced Collection is still going to be a really good buy when it goes on sale. I do not recommend anyone dropping a full $59.99 on this because, again, unlike Tales of Vesperia, it's not like these games are content-filled either. With Tales of Vesperia, you're legitimately getting a 50 to 60 hour experience. With these games, they're quality 8 to 10 hour experiences, but that's it. That it really begs the question, why is this being released at $59.99 on consoles? I have always thrown out the theory that, hey, maybe Warner Brothers releases at $59.99, so when the PlayStation Store is running a sale, they can quickly say, hey, we're running a 50% off discount on it, but they're still selling it for $29.99, and that's really the price they want to sell the game at. It's just, let's start off at $59.99, we can throw that 50% off label on it, and then we can still sell it for $29.99. That's just the theory I have. Whatever the case may be, I would not recommend it at $59.99, but would recommend you to add it to your wish list and pick it up sometime down the line when it is on sale. And lastly, we have a pretty interesting PlayStation VR title in Megalith. Megalith has you choose from 1 of 5 starting titans and work in teams of 2 to take on other titans in battles. The titans each wield unique powers and abilities derived from their origin, and these abilities can be used alone but become even more effective when coordinated with an ally. So it's a VR title that really has cooperation and teamwork as an emphasis of the game, and it does look to be a pretty interesting title. It has some MOBA influences to it. It could turn out to be a standout PlayStation VR title. We'll find out as Megalith drops on January 8th. So those are the 3 new PS4 game releases this week. Again, I think while not a heavy week in terms of quantity of releases, each of those games are quite notable, even in the case of a release like Hitman HD Enhanced Collection being a little bit on the pricier side. It's still a collection I'm excited to see make its way over to the PS4. Moving on from that, I think everybody that owns a PS4 is very excited for The Last of Us Part 2. However, we don't know exactly when it's going to be dropping. The big speculation is that it will be coming in 2019. However, that hasn't been confirmed, although a lot Shauna Pierce, who has formerly worked at IGN and is now currently at Rooster Teeth, someone that you would imagine has some more insider info than your typical Joe Schmo. She said over on Twitter that The Last of Us Part 2 is in fact releasing in 2019 from what she had heard, but that information of course has not been publicly disclosed. She has since deleted those tweets, so you would have to think that information is probably accurate. Now, could things change and could The Last of Us Part 2 be pushed into 2020? Absolutely, but I do think that this is gonna be Sony's big holiday title for 2019. We still don't have any idea what that big holiday game for this year is gonna be. We know Days Gone is coming earlier this year. We know Dreams is looking to come in springtime of this year, and even then, Dreams isn't that big title. I wouldn't classify Days Gone as that big title either. Remember, holiday 2018, we had Marvel Spider-Man. What is gonna be that Marvel Spider-Man caliber of game that releases this year? I think The Last of Us Part 2 definitely fits that bill. If they could get Ghost of Tsushima out before the year's end as well, that would be great. And now there's rumblings of Death Stranding coming before 2019's end as well. So if you could get all three of those games out for holiday 2019, man, the PS4 is gonna have an even bigger holiday than it did in 2018, and 2018's holiday season for the PS4 was pretty ridiculous. So take that as rumor for now, but let's hope to hear something more concrete on The Last of Us Part 2 very soon. Who knows when, because we know that Sony isn't going to be holding an E3 conference this year, so I imagine the announcements will just be trickling in as the months roll on. Moving on from that, Rockstar Games has just put out Red Dead Redemption 2. Some people have called it their game of the year, although it looks like many gamers are pointing towards God of War as the game of the year. That's a debate I'll let you guys get into sometime else. What we can say is Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fantastic game, but it looks like Rockstar Games is already moving on to their next project as they're hiring for next generation projects and improving facial animation tools. Specifically, the job descriptions cite, quote, creation of new approaches to animation, retargeting facial animation tracking, rigging, secondary motion simulation, and character deformation. Development of new approaches and workflows in facial tracking, facial recognition, improving tools, and pipelines. Now, as is the case with Rockstar Games, when they put out a game, they're going to take a very, very long time to put out their next game. Maybe they'll at some point port Red Dead Redemption 2 to next generation platforms. They'll figure out ways to monetize RDR2 for years to come. However, as far as a brand new game and their next major entry, maybe a Grand Theft Auto 6, that's probably a long time away. The window we had to wait between GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 was 5 years. I imagine it'll be something pretty similar when we're looking at Red Dead Redemption 2 to GTA 6. Moving on from that, David Cage, the brain behind Detroit Become Human, put out a pretty interesting tweet that points towards the studio and Quantic Dream working on something new in 2019. He said this, quote, Happy New Year to all. We wish you all a wonderful new year with a lot of love, friends, laughs, and of course a lot of fun. 2018 has been an amazing year for Quantic Dream thanks to you. We have plans to make 2019 very exciting too. Hashtag Detroit Become Human, hashtag Connor Army. He also attaches a Connor plushie image with the tweet, so that's pretty interesting how he singles out Connor in this tweet. Could that mean we'll have some Connor-oriented DLC in 2019? Originally, Quantic Dream did say they didn't want to do DLC, but that's something I can easily see them going back on, especially because Heavy Rain got DLC release. It looks like there is an appetite for more Detroit Become Human, so I wouldn't be all too surprised if it got some DLC in 2019. Take that as speculation as well. And lastly, I want to take a look at some great PS4 game deals available right now. Specifically, Valkyria Chronicles 4, the launch edition, is available for just $25.61 on Amazon. That is a fantastic deal. Valkyria Chronicles 4 is a terrific JRPG. Is it all too different than the first Valkyria Chronicles? No, but I was so high on the first Valkyria Chronicles game that just building upon the success of that game, offering a quality story, that's enough to really win me over. And $25.61 is without a doubt the cheapest I've seen that game for. Also, there are 50% off select PS4 games on Target Cartwheel in store. You can get Shadow of the Colossus for $9.99, Knack 2 for $9.99, and Detroit Become Human for $19.99. So those are some great deals. Specifically on Shadow of the Colossus, $9.99 for that game is absolutely insane. So definitely do take advantage of that. And that is going to conclude this video. Again, new game releases for this week include Megalith, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, and Hitman HD Enhanced Collection. An ex-IGN editor has kind of let the cat out of the bag that The Last of Us Part 2 is targeting a 2019 release window. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Rockstar is already hiring for their next project. David Cage is teasing something for 2019 regarding Detroit Become Human. Could it be some DLC? I kind of think so. And again, get great deals on Valkyria Chronicles 4 and a litany of PS4 games over at Target. VC4 for $25.61, SOTC for $9.99. Some great deals available right now. That's going to conclude this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.